You've been in the digital waiting room for 3 hours. Your boss thinks you're working on the Q3 projections, but in reality, you are staring at a small, blue walking man icon that hasn't moved since lunch. You finally get in. You click on 2 seats in the nosebleed adjacent section. The price, $900 each. You check the fine print, expecting it to include a flight to the show or at least a kidney transplant. Nope, it's just a standard seat. 10 minutes ago, that same chair was $90. Yep, it's the Ticketmaster Hunger Games. We aren't just looking at high demand anymore, we're looking at a tech-fueled arms race between 2 algorithms that both want your rent money. On one side, you have the Scalper bots, autonomous code, that can buy out an entire stadium faster than you can type your middle name. On the other side, you have dynamic pricing, a market-based algorithm that sees those bots as real demand and jacks up the prices to match them. It's a closed-loop system where the fans are basically the fuel being burned to keep the engine running. The industry calls this market-based pricing. It sounds sophisticated, like something a guy in a tailored suit would explain to you over a glass of expensive scotch. In reality, it's surge pricing for art. We've accepted that Uber costs more in a rainstorm, but Uber isn't a once-in-a-lifetime experience with your favorite artist. When Lady Gaga fans saw Nosebleed Seats hit $600 within 15 minutes of a sale starting, it wasn't because the seats got better. It's because the algorithm saw a spike in traffic and decided that fair is whatever the most desperate person in the room is willing to pay. But why did we get here? To understand the why, we have to look at the how, specifically the bots. If you think you're competing against other fans, you're bringing a spoon to a nuclear silo launch. Modern scalping bots don't just refresh the page, they use thousands of rotating IP addresses to look like thousands of different people. They bypass CAPTCHAs using AI-powered solving services. They scrape inventory in real time, essentially seeing the tickets before the icons even turn blue on your screen. One single broker once grabbed 30,000 tickets to Hamilton in a year. That's not a fan. That's an industrial-scale vacuum cleaner. The bots create artificial scarcity. They add tickets to their carts and just sit on them to trigger denial of inventory. This tells the ticketing site's algorithm that demand is through the roof. The algorithm, seeing this demand, triggers dynamic pricing. The prices skyrocket. The bots then drop the tickets and let them expire back into the pool. Only now, they are 3 times the price. The house wins, the scalper wins, and you're left looking at a $900 seat for an artist who probably thinks the tickets are still $50. Ticketmaster defends this by saying it keeps the profit in the hands of the artists and promoters rather than the secondary market. They claim if someone is going to pay $1,000 for a seat on StubHub, the artist should be the one getting that $1,000, not some guy in a basement in Jersey. It's a noble-sounding argument that conveniently ignores the fact that Ticketmaster and its parent company, Live Nation, take a cut of those inflated fees at every single step. They don't just own the store, they own the scale used to weigh the gold. This is the monopoly problem. Live Nation controls about 70 to 80% of the top-grossing venues and ticketing in the US. If an artist wants to play a major arena, they usually have to use Ticketmaster. If you want to see that artist, you have to use Ticketmaster. There is no switching to a competitor, because the competitor doesn't have the keys to the building. We're seeing the fallout of this in 2026. The UK has officially moved to ban for-profit resale, making it illegal to sell a ticket for more than the original face value plus fees. They're trying to kill the industrial scalping model by making the math stop working. In the US, we're leaning into transparency. New rules like the FTC's junk fees rule mean they have to show you the all-in price up front. No more getting to the checkout and seeing a $40 convenience fee for the privilege of printing your own ticket at home. But transparency doesn't lower the price. It just lets you see the train wreck more clearly. The real shift is psychological. We're reaching subscription fatigue and surge fatigue. People are starting to opt out. We're seeing a rise in dumb ticketing, independent venues that only sell physical tickets at the box office or use face value exchange platforms where you can only sell your ticket back to another fan for exactly what you paid. The industry is at a breaking point. When a concert ticket costs as much as a used Honda Civic, it stops being a cultural experience and starts being a luxury asset. We've turned the mosh pit into a high-frequency trading floor. So next time you're staring at that little blue man in the queue, remember, he isn't walking toward a concert. He's walking toward a financial derivative. And unless you're an algorithm or a billionaire, the market price was never designed with you in mind. The only way to win a rigged game is to stop playing, or at least wait until 48 hours before the show, when the dynamic algorithm realizes it overshot and starts panic dropping prices just to fill the seats.